Hey, this is Gale Nelson. This is The Game of Life. Welcome to The Game of Life, Season 2. I'm pleased to be in the studio with our newest board member, incredible woman, superwoman, Amy Stojanovic from Mochee. Did I get that right, Amy?
Got it all right. Very good. Congrats.
Welcome to The Game of Life. Shout out to Asha Elias for referring one incredible board member refers another incredible board member. So, Amy, we're going to have some fun today. We're going to talk about social media. We're going to get to know who you are. We will talk about just ways that our littles, our kids, and those that are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the social media platforms can really use social media for their personal and professional benefit and really just help strengthen their brand. How about that?
I like it.
So that's our lesson plan, game plan. This is the game of life where everybody makes the team, but how you play is up to you. So let's start, Amy, with just who you are and how you came to not only who you are, but how you got involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters as well.
Okay. So my name is Amy. I am the owner of Mochee. It is a social media agency. We started in 2010, which makes us the oldest social media agency in Miami.
Wow, there you go.
Certainly not anything we set out to do. It happened very organically for my partner and I. And today we have over 12 employees and about 40 to 50 clients at any one time. We handle everything from strategy, content creation, reporting and analytics for a variety of types of clients. So we love nonprofits. We care a lot about cultural institutions. We do lifestyle, products, you name it, we've done it. So I run this company. I am also a proud mom of 2 little kids.
There you go. What are the ages?
They are 5 and almost 2.
So you're not busy at all?
Not at all, not at all. And I really run the company. My job is, getting more business, creating the strategy, and just making sure that everyone gets their paycheck and the clients are happy, and that we continue to do the work that makes us proud.
When you think about, to your point, work that makes you proud, and is there one particular project? You don't have to share brands if you don't have to do that, but a particular project that just you and your team put together that just it's like, this is why I started Mochee.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've had a lot of those, but I think the one that comes to mind first is the Miami Book Fair. I'm happy to name that as a brand.
Nice.
I think this is our 6th year. We're going to be doing the fair. We started with them for their 30th anniversary, and Miami Book Fair is the largest fair in North America. Over 600 authors come. It's 10 days. Tens of thousands of people come through the fair, and the whole goal is to get people reading and to get excited about literacy. And when we started with them, they're owned by Miami-Dade College, and they, of course, operationally were an extremely impressive organization, but they had little to no social media presence. And this was, 2012 or 14 or something like that. So I wouldn't say social media was like the driving force of events back then, but I think in a very short amount of time, we really put Book Fair on the map, and social now is one of their main ways to get people information about who's coming and how to get involved and what you should be reading. And they also have a really wonderful program called Read to Learn Books for Free, which services, I'm going to say like 50 bookshelves throughout the county. I think we have one here at Big Brothers, Big Sisters Miami, where kids from anywhere can come and just take free books. Because the statistics, unfortunately, for kids that are low income, that they will never own a book, and that is just devastating. This program provides hundreds of thousands of books to Miami-Dade County kids. And that's a program that we were able to really push through social media, make sure that we get more book donations, that we get funding donations, and that we get kids to know that they can just go to any one of these bookshelves and get a book to go home and keep on their own bookshelf.
That's what it's all about. And so how long have you been on the board of Big Brothers Big Sisters now?
I think about 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So like I said, the newest board member Big Brothers Big Sisters. And certainly I mentioned in the intro, you were referred by Asha Elias as well, incredible board member. And so as you think about your board involvement and branding and social media, what do you want to bring to the table to help? You talked about Miami Book Fair and how you increase their brand. We're on social media. Can we improve? Absolutely. So what is it what would you consider success as a board member here at Now, you only be 3 weeks in, so no pressure.
Well, I think ultimate success is making sure that more people are aware of everything that happens in this organization and in this center. And I think social media is going to be one of our main ways to get that messaging out there, both to recruit volunteers, to recruit donations, and just general involvement from the community. Hopefully that turns into, a company partnership or a workplace partnership. So I think that's my general goal, is that I hope I can facilitate some of that. And ultimately, I really care about what you guys do, and I believe that we're able to really change the trajectory of one kid's life.
That's
and
right.
That's exactly the goal. And I think social is just a really great way to share those stories of success.
That's awesome, and I love the pronouns you use. We, what we are doing. You're 3 weeks in, and you got it down because you are a part of us. And social media.
Yes.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was in a meeting with a gentleman, seasoned. I don't use the word old, seasoned gentleman, and he talked about talking to a group of high school students. After his presentation, the students were it was very engaging, and he said, one of the students said, "I want to follow you," and he said, "Okay, I'm heading to the parking lot," and the kid laughed and said, "No, I want to follow you. What's your handle?"
Yes.
On IG, and he just didn't get it. And so he laughed, and he told me yesterday, he said, "I now have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter," and he said it was amazing because the high schooler told this gentleman, this professional, "You just spoke to about 300 to 400 students, and what you had to say was so impactful to me. I want to follow you, but imagine on social media how many more you can impact."
Yeah.
So the impact of social media, I think, goes without saying, but social media 2019, what's the state of affairs, if you will?
Yeah.
Amy?
Well, back to that point too, it's not just that he'll be able to reach many more people through it. It's that, he made one connection with these 300 to 400 kids, but if they are able to follow him on social and he's projecting all this, positive messaging, and he's providing his own, platform for mentorship, they'll be able to watch that for months and years. And I think that's the whole power of social media, and that's why it was created. It was created to connect people that know each other personally, but also to connect people that will never get the chance to, know LeBron James or to follow a politician or whatever it might be. So, I think that's, although social media has certainly had some downfalls along the years, and it's a huge tool, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's connecting people, brands, family, friends, and, making the world a little bit smaller in that sense.
And it's funny how you think about the relationships. I remember one Saturday morning, and we're going to talk about trends in social media next, but I got to share this. You mentioned LeBron James, and certainly was down there. He and D Wade became real tight. They're still real tight. And one Saturday morning, I go to therapy with my daughter. She injured her ACL. I hurt my Achilles, as you know. And so we're in therapy, and behind the treadmill is a picture of D Wade holding in a Converse brand, again, branding. Behind the treadmill, young D Wade with his little fade, and holding a basketball. And so I take a picture of that, and I put hashtag daddy daughter. Saturday morning, I'm on one treadmill, she's on treadmill 2.
Yeah.
And guess who liked the photo within 2 seconds after I posted? Because at that same time, D Wade was with his daughter, and he was so daddy daughter, I guess, with the hashtag daddy daughter feed. And my daughter comes running to me like, "Daddy, D Wade just liked your post."
That's awesome.
And it's a simple me and my daughter hanging out together on a Saturday morning, but it's amazing how, and I didn't sign up for social media for that. It's more about our brand and letting people know the incredible things we're doing. But that's incredible, where somebody could have a quote-unquote conversation
Absolutely.
With someone about a particular topic. So
Absolutely.
What are some trends in social media right now, Amy?
Well, so, I think when I first started my company, my first few years, every day, every meeting I would sit down to, they would be like, "Why do we have to be on social media? I don't understand the power. What are the analytics? Like, why are we spending all this money?" And now, the last 5 years, it doesn't matter who's in the room. All they want to talk about is social media, because that's really where everything is going. And, Obviously there continue to be privacy concerns and things of that.
Right.
But social media is here to stay. Facebook is one of the largest organizations in the world, and they're very smart in their acquisitions. They own WhatsApp, they own Instagram. So even if you are saying, well, I don't even use Facebook anymore, only my grandparents use them. At the end of the day, they still own companies that you are also using.
Man, that's true.
They were very smart in where they knew things were going to go, and at the end of the day, they still have all the data on Facebook. So even if that platform changes, which is most likely will. The biggest things are that they'll be really pushing to groups, to Facebook groups, which kind of takes it back to the core of the community and connecting people. Facebook groups and yes, even in my own usage, I don't post on Facebook nearly as much as I used to, but I still follow a ton of news organizations. I follow a lot of companies, and Facebook groups is definitely where it's at. So people are in groups of Miami foodies, of Miami nonprofits, of whatever you can think of. If you're going to travel somewhere, to Corsica or something, you can join a travel group of Corsica, and you'll get all these tips, and maybe you'll meet someone and be like, oh my God, you're going in June too? Great. I want, let's meet for a cup of coffee or something. So Facebook groups is definitely where they're moving. We might even get rid of Facebook business pages, which is a little scary to a business like myself. But that's why I think Big Brothers, we definitely need to get some Facebook groups going, because I see some great connections happening there. Can you imagine if a big could connect with another big and talk about, this is something that I experienced and how great it was, maybe even for, the parents of littles, that they could connect.
Yeah.
So Facebook groups is something that we all need to keep an eye on for the next couple of years. And Instagram is where everyone is obviously spending their time and their money, and every brand in the world is on there. Instagram is becoming a much more transactional platform. In the past, it's been very aesthetic driven and engagement of beautiful pictures, and I think it's been a little bit of a vanity platform as well. And so Instagram has made some changes in the last few months to try to curb that. They really want to make sure for the younger generation that it doesn't become a machine that makes you feel bad about yourself or that you want something that's unattainable. So they are most likely going to be getting rid of likes on posts.
Oh, really?
So you'll still be able to see it as a person or as a brand, but if I were to go to Big Brother's page, I won't be able to see how many likes a post got.
Okay.
And so that should kind of help some of the, people are so driven by those numbers and that like count. That's why they kind of changed that. And then, like I said, it's going to become more transactional. You'll be able to buy things a lot more easily through Instagram. And hopefully for nonprofits, it becomes a lot more easy to donate so that we can do some really good donation drives and say, we just want $5, takes 2 seconds, and you'll be able to do it all through the app. So, I think that's where Instagram is going.
So that's interesting trends. You are just so spot on. And the reason we're just so fortunate, we're here with Amy Stojanovic, owner of Mochee, the oldest social media company in Miami. Loving that little quick fact, that fun fact as well. I got some shoes being ordered on IG. Let's talk about trends. So at least I'm trending now, I guess.
I like it.
And so I got shoes being delivered to the house today. I ordered on IG. 2 things in the last 2 days I ordered on IG. It was very convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
And so how's my content? Because, again, I was one of those, I was a little afraid. We're going to talk about fears in social media.
Yeah.
And, Courtney, shout out to Courtney Coleman, our marketing coordinator here. And she's like, you need to be on IG.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm on. I got 300 followers. I got to do something about that. Because it's funny because, I didn't get on IG to have people follow me, but it's our brand.
Yeah.
So how's
absolutely.
my content?
Well, from a brand perspective, I think it's great. You clearly show what it's like to run this organization, why people should be involved, what the day in, day out of being in this organization means. And I think that's what's most important, especially as a board member. I encourage all board members to follow Gale.
Thank you. That'll take me up to 370 just right there.
Exactly,
come on, board.
Exactly. I'm going to check all your followers to make sure they do it.
Thank you.
But I think, it really gives us, it's an educational place that we can see everything that you guys are doing, that you are literally at all these companies every day, that you are providing so much for the littles. And I think that's, you might not get to the following of LeBron James, but
that's all right. I know my place.
It's authentic, and I think it also gives us an insight as to who you are personally.
That's right.
And why you're involved in this organization.
And what's powerful, and I think there's something that is even as a national brand. I talked to our national CEO today. We want to take our national brand to another level because people still, talk about, well, big brothers, big sisters, you're the organization where you adopt those kids. Well, not necessarily.
Right.
Mentoring is one-to-one for the benefit of our listeners. You in a school, at a corporation, in the community, one-to-one match, but you take that kid home.
Right.
You spend that quality time together. So there's a misunderstanding that I think social media can help us.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it was interesting. There was another nonprofit. It was the most recent award show, celebrity award show. I think it was Emmys. Was it Emmys recently or whatever the award show was? But they wore something from that nonprofit. And I was meeting with that nonprofit, and they said we were just verified.
Yeah.
Because he or she, whatever celebrity, promoted the brand.
Yeah.
It was captured on all social media, and so it's a way, because again, I'm pretty comfortable in my skin. It's really more about telling a kid story, telling and educating folks.
Yeah.
Not so much even though my son has more followers than me. So my goal, Amy, with your help, will be I need to get more followers than my son. That's bragging rights at home.
I got it.
Okay, so you're gonna help me with that.
Yes.
So one of the things we want to talk about is if someone is sitting there and listening to us, and let's say they want to get involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, or just help themselves personally or professionally, but I'm afraid of social media. I hear so many bad things about social media. Help us. What are some of the fears of social media, and how do we mitigate that, Amy?
Yeah, well, especially for younger people, I think that we have to understand that social media is now our entire brand, and people can Google. If you Google my name, you're going to find every picture that I've ever posted. You're going to find every picture that people have posted of me, and so employers are looking at that. I mean, I'm guilty of that. When I get a resume, I look someone up on social because I'm like, I want to put a face to a name. What are they involved in? Do they like reading? Are they a cheerleader? Whatever it might be. So you have to understand, and even if you keep your stuff private, a lot of times it's not. So you just really have to be cognizant of whatever you're putting out there. 20 years down the line could still come back and haunt you. So be really thoughtful for how you're speaking about yourself, because it will help with college admissions and employment, and even peer-to-peer relationships down the line. So I think be really cognizant of that, and if you don't want to post personally, that's totally fine. But I think it's important that you're still on social media. I know even some of the board members that they might not. My husband, for instance, has posted one thing on Instagram ever. He's a VP of a huge ad agency. He runs huge social budgets. And he's on Instagram all the time. He's not posting, but he's looking and seeing what everyone else is posting about. He follows a lot of magazines that he loves, or cars, or different blogs, things like that. So I think social media, even if you're not ready to have your own personal strategy of what it is you want to communicate, I think it's still the easiest platform to get great information. If you want to be an actor one day, there's going to be so many actors that you can follow, and lots of different organizations that you can follow on. How to become whatever it is you want to be. So I think use social media really as an education platform to whatever it is that you're looking for.
And I think there's such a powerful message. Big Brothers, Big Sisters is in the relationship business. There are young people out there, Amy, who have these social media relationships, or they are promoting an image of themselves that may not be real. And I love what you said about trends in social media in terms of, well, I posted this and I only got 10 likes, and I see something else that may be corny or whatever it is that gets 1,000 likes, and it can make you feel badly. So I like that. But the message to the kids, and you talked about it, you're an employer, and somebody sends you their resume, and you're checking it out saying, I don't like what I'm seeing on social media. I'm sure you've made made employment decisions not to hire,
correct,
based on social media.
Absolutely.
And so the message to the kids, and even the young professionals, and anyone who's interested in getting their personal or professional brand out on social media, you said it, but I want to go back to it again. The social media, the relationships. How do we guard against someone, for that little girl that's out there, for that little boy that's out there listening to us, or even their parent that may be listening?
Yeah.
What advice do you give them to just real authentic relationships? Because we need more of that today.
Yeah, so I think being a parent, my kids are obviously way too young for this, so it's not something I've had to deal with yet. But I see it with my nieces and nephews, and I think that being a parent is, in my eyes, harder than it was 20 years ago. And we have to be so on top of what our kids are doing digitally. It's our responsibility until they're the age of 18, essentially, to make sure that they are that we're safeguarding everything that they're looking at, and that they're engaging upon on social media. At the same token, we can't say that they're not allowed to be on social media, because that's just not realistic.
There you go.
I mean, you have teachers that are literally communicating via Facebook groups, so we can't say, well, you can't be on these platforms, because that's just where our world is going. So I think it's just, as always, as a mentor or as a parent or as an aunt or whatever, you just have to be very, very involved in these kids' lives, and we need to know everything that they're doing. I also really believe in screen time, even for myself. I think it's really easy to go down a rabbit hole of social media or just being on your phone or whatever it might be. So I think just putting in some of those tools that our phones give us. Apple literally texted me today saying that I was doing really well. I had read 200 pages of my book or something.
Nice.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is a new tool. So, although these devices are literally trying to brainwash us at all times, they also are providing lots of tools that make sure that kids can't get on certain things, that they can't download anything, and that we as parents are able to see exactly what they're doing. And, it's not a big brother in a bad way. It's not
exactly.
Yeah. We're not trying to, be inside their heads, but I think it's really important that we're really involved in saying, oh, okay, you follow Taylor Swift, like, oh, this is why you follow her, and she's fun, or whatever it might be. I think it's really important that you're just talking to your kid all the time and getting them off their phone and talking about whatever it is they're interested on their phone. My daughter loves cooking. She's constantly watching kids cooking videos. Drives me nuts. But I'm like, let's just get in the kitchen and cook,
Right.
And if they were making chocolate chip cookies, then that's what we're gonna do together.
That's
so
right.
make it something that if they're interested in it, of course, that makes complete sense. But let's transition it off in real life as well. And I think in general, all of our kids are learning to be so digital, and that's great, and it's so important for resumes. I think all kids should learn to code, which is so great that the
Yes.
center here offers that for
Yes.
our littles. Because again, that's what I think every person's going to need moving forward. I totally lost my train of thought on that.
That's
Sorry.
all right. No, just being able to compete in the digital world and be relevant.
Yes.
But I think you were going in terms of don't forget the humanity.
Exactly. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
I was tracking with you.
Yes, thank you. So I think it's so important that you're coding and that you
Yes.
are on social media to show that you understand it and everything like that. But I also think that person-to-person skills are ultimately always going to be the most important thing.
The floor is yours, my dear. So when you interview somebody, so let's get into the world of Mochee.
Yes.
You obviously are savvy in the social media space. You've talked about trends, fears, where it's going. But when you're making that employment decision,
Yes.
anybody that's listening that's on a job, looking for a job, or has a pulse, listen clearly to
Exactly.
Amy. The social media presence, you analyze that, but you still talk to people, right?
Absolutely. And
What do
that's
you
how
s-
business
yeah.
is done. This is a person-to-person thing. And I find we have so many qualified candidates come through our doors that have, very impressive resumes, lots of internships, lots of skills, went
Yes.
to amazing schools with very high GPAs. And then they sit down and they cannot make eye contact and cannot think on their feet, are very nervous, and, that's really what it's all about. Because the reason I've been successful is because I can walk into a room and I can kind of BS my way through it. I might not know the answer that day, but I will learn it
You
once I
conversate.
leave, but I'll be able to still sell it and spin
Yes.
it. And that obviously comes with time, but it's so important that you are confident in yourself, that you know how to carry a conversation. At our Big Brothers retreat, what was so interesting to me was the speaker, she had us do a workshop where we had
Yes.
to ask someone questions. One person had to ask questions and the other person just had to answer
Under
them.
the umbrella.
Yes.
Not the Rihanna under that umbrella, but you know what I mean.
So I was I got to answer the questions, and I'm very comfortable on either side of that umbrella. And I noticed a lot of people really weren't.
And these are business professionals.
Yes, extremely successful
We won't mention any
people.
board member names,
right,
Amy.
Exactly. But I was so, and I kind of thought, I was like, why are we doing this? It's not that hard to talk to someone for 5 minutes. And it was so interesting to me to watch how many people were literally struggling with just coming up with some basic questions. You know, where are you from? Oh, really? That's what you studied? And I actually went back to my company and said, guys, that is such an art of conversation. And that's definitely something that everyone should have 5 questions in their pocket so that you're not sitting in awkward silence. And all of those answers you're going to get from those questions are going to be powerful tools for you to move forward with that
Exactly
person.
right.
If you get to know someone, you kind of have a leg up on them. You're able to, speak to what's interesting to them. And that's something that I think, we're not going to learn from social media or from phones. That's something you need to just go and talk to people and be comfortable. And I really advise that for any young kids out there and any young professionals. Just
incredible advice. Amy Stojanovic, owner, Mochee, 3 weeks in, Big Brothers Big Sisters board member, dropping knowledge here in the Boogie Live studio. Shout out to my boy DJ Irie. Amy, incredible advice. Let's tease everybody now.
Okay.
Now that you're on the board, no pressure.
Okay.
But there's some pretty cool stuff that you and Courtney and that you guys deal in the social media lab here at Big Brothers Big Sisters. There'll be some cool things people will see from Big Brother. We won't tell them everything, but some cool things people will see coming up so they can learn more about Big Brothers Big Sisters, becoming bigs, being a donor. Just tease them a little bit. Just, a little 10-second tease on what they can expect, but don't give them too much information.
Well, we're working on some really exciting video content,
Yes.
which is going to hopefully tell the greater story of everything that happens here, and we'll get people on all sides really, really excited. And we look forward to everyone's feedback on that because we want this to be something that board members can use, that our volunteers can use as being something that they're really proud to be a part of. And at the end of the day, this is a community, and everyone that touches Big Brother, Big Sister Miami, if you've donated $5 or if you are a tutor or if you're a little or a big, you all have your own social networks, and all the material that Courtney and her team work so hard to put out. It's important that we all take the time to just share that, because even if we get 5 more people to learn about our mission, that's what's going to take us to the next level.
That's why she's on the board. That's why we're so proud of just the work we do. Amy, thank you.
Thank you. This is great.
For being on the Game of Life Season 2. Social media, use it well. Use our powers for good. But never, ever forget that we're in the relationship business here at Big Brothers Big Sisters, but in life, in the game of life, where everybody makes a team, but how you play is up to you to have that eye contact, talk to people, get to know folks. Because at the end of the day, we want to rock and roll our way to success. Amy, thanks again for being on the Game of Life. Here we go. This is the Game of Life.